I worked as a chef for 2 years and it was the worst career choice I could have ever picked. I'd never liked cooking to begin with, but I had just dropped out of college and I didn't want to stay within my family business. I wanted to make my own path, so I needed to pick something fast, since I was doing nothing with my life like studying or working, and the pressure was on from my family. I was in the house cooking my usual gym meal, thinking of what to do for a job or to study. All I cooked was some chicken and rice as usual, and I thought to myself, this shit's easy, girls like chefs, fuck it, I'll be a chef. So I went and told my dad. He was like, yep, sweet, all good. Here's a course you can enroll into, and it's free because of your qualifications from school. So I was like, oh yep, sounds perfect. We got to the course, got like a tour, and apparently you had to have taken cooking classes prior in school to be enrolled in this course during year 11 and 12, which for other countries is like grade 11 and 12, I'm pretty sure. I hadn't done that, but I had done the cooking classes that were compulsory in year 7. So I was like, yeah, I've done the cooking classes in school before, not specifying which. They pretty much knew I hadn't done the year 11 and 12 classes, but they allowed it anyways, because they wanted more people enrolled in their school since it was at like an all-time low that year. So sweet, I got in. So the course is a year, and as I found out over time, doing my cooking, my studying, my assignments, there is so much more to cooking. I'm terrible at this, and I fucking hate it. But I didn't want to go back to doing completely nothing with my life again, and the course was only a year, so I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just complete the course and find another job, is what I thought. So 11 months had gone by, I had moved to another city because my parents had moved, and I still had a month left on my course. So obviously I was going to find some way to complete it. And luckily, the city I had moved to had the same cooking campus, so I could just pick up from where I left from, just in another class. Then came one of the final assignments, and it was we had to work a real job cooking somewhere and document it. So the cooking school referred me to a steakhouse restaurant, and I got to work there for the next month. And I ended up getting an official contract to actually work there, since the restaurant obviously thought I wanted to work there afterwards. Naturally, since I was in a school cooking to become a chef. Obviously, I'm not going to tell them shit I'm doing afterwards. The pay is shit. I still hate cooking, probably even more now. So I'll just complete my assignments, keep this job while I look for a new one, since I might as well have a source of income. It's something to do after I finish the course while I look for a new job. So I get to the workplace. I'm assigned a trainer, someone who's going to teach me what I'm going to be doing around there on my section. It was chill, learning all the prep. Still hated it, but it was chill. And then comes dinner service. This is when I got my first glimpse into the difference between cooking and being a chef. I shit you not, when the kitchen got busy, everyone went full stress mode. The chefs were moving as fast as they can, making a million things at once. And when I say as fast as I can, I genuinely, for the first month, thought they were all on cocaine. I'm pretty sure when I first started working there, and I still had energy, I recorded a video. I never bothered starting YouTube back then because of everything else going on. I'll put it on screen now if I can find it.
Right, boys. Chefs.
What's today's topic?
Chefs. Chefs. On this camera? Cool. Yeah, chefs are fucking retarded. Not much more to say, to be honest, but, you know, I was, cooking in my kitchen, and, it was, like, my first couple of days there, and I swear to God, I swear to fuck, I think these cunts are on cocaine or some shit, like, the way they move and shit, it's like, fucking weird, cunt. I could have sworn the cunt was on cocaine that was tutoring me. Standing there literally right next to me, just looking down at me. Fucking like... See this cunt? Down here. Preparing my food and shit. And this cunt's just right next to me going, Faster? Like fucking hell, cunt. If a cop walked into the kitchen and he said, "Rightio, lads, one of you is on cocaine," my first assumption is going to be the cunt that's having a spaz attack, looking like he's on fucking cocaine. He even looks like he's on cocaine, to be honest. Like, I think the cunt's on cocaine. Anyways, lads, that's why chefs are fucked. If you enjoyed, go fuck yourself.
And it wasn't just how fast they were moving, it was the way they spoke, how anxious they seemed, and my inability to comprehend how you can willingly put this much effort for a low-paying job like this. That's something as pointless as cooking meals for a stranger. I was convinced most chefs probably didn't like or dislike cooking, but were just doing it for the pay to survive in life, like how most people would go about their jobs. But no, I was wrong. If you've ever seen MasterChef, it was extremely similar to that, but except being stressed on MasterChef actually makes sense. You get publicity, you aim to be one of the best chefs in the world, and so on, all those other benefits. And to top it all off, what I found out a while later, they actually enjoyed the work, loved it. They got a high out of it. Bro, I could not comprehend how, but it wasn't my job to be concerned. To me, they were just weird, just different. They can do their thing, I'm completing my assignments, and I'm finding another job and getting the fuck out of it. Because there was no way in hell I'm staying around this insanity. So I kept working in this crazy ass environment, learning to catch up to their speed, more stressed than I've ever been in my life. I remember even at one point when I got put onto dishes, and I had to learn to keep up on a busy night. When I went to sleep those nights, I shit you not, it was like I was having PTSD, nightmare type shit. I kept waking up stressed that there was more dishes behind me, and I had to keep up to clean them. Anyways, in this time, I kept searching and searching for a new job. Nothing was coming from it. Out of all the applications I sent, which was a lot, which right now is very common in my country being New Zealand. That's why we have so many people moving to Australia and other countries, because of how bad it is trying to find a job around here. I didn't realize how bad it was until this time. So months and months go by, and the more pissed off I was getting, I was starting to get more used to things, and faster, obviously, but I still hated it. Then it starts to get to the point where reality starts to kick in of what life really is right now. It might be for who knows how long, and I don't know if a lot of you can relate, but I feel like a lot of you probably know what I mean when I say, you know, when you just get to that point of being pissed off, where you're just exhausted of being pissed off, and you sort of just give in because your situation is so helpless. It's inescapable. As much as you want to do something about it, I just wanted to quit, but obviously I couldn't because I'd be broke and doing nothing with my life. I sort of just like mentally gave up on being angry, and I tried to adapt to the work life because there really wasn't anything else I could do. Otherwise I would just be pissed off all day, and that was kind of pointless. It wasn't really like a 9 to 5, like we have some hours left of the day to progress on other shit. If you wanted to try and make a source of income after work to like try and escape, there was no way you were going to be able to do that. Now the hours were weird in a sense that I'd be working average 9 to 11 hours sometimes, and I'd be starting at different times depending on what section I was on. So sometimes it would be 10:30, sometimes it would be 12, which was fucking annoying and impossible to have a consistent sleep schedule with doing gym afterwards, which I wasn't going to give up. It was the only thing I still had going at the time, and I refused to compromise for work. But because of these long hour shifts, a lot of restaurants like these have long breaks. It's usually like right in between, so it'd be like average 3 hours, sometimes more, sometimes less, but it all depended on how much we had booked that night and how much prep we had to do during the day. But this means I couldn't set up a proper schedule of going to the gym during my break because I didn't know how long my break was going to be. Like I said, it all depended on how much we had booked that night and how much prep we had to get done during the day. My gym was also near my house, and it was a half an hour drive going back, and then getting back to work would be another half an hour, so I'd waste an hour going there and back, and that's lucky depending on the traffic. Not to mention I would also get told off multiple times for coming even a minute late. There wasn't much point in switching to a gym closer to work, because then on my days off I would still be driving half an hour there and then another half an hour back, so the same amount of time to drive to the gym regardless. So I had to make the decision between gym and sleep, because if there was one part of me that I wanted to still keep going, something that I still gave a fuck about, something worth progressing on, it might as well be the bare minimum of keeping my body healthy and somewhat in shape. But fuck me, my testosterone and energy levels tanked. I felt like shit every day on about an average of 6 to 6.5 hours sleep. I was drinking 2 to 3 black coffees a day just to keep up with the bare minimum of work. And even then, I felt extremely sluggish. My week would usually look like this. Day 1, get up 8:30. Do bathroom essentials like brush teeth, fix hair, skincare, and tidy up the bed or shave, depending on whether I had one or not at the time. Then cook my breakfast and lunch, eat, and then be out the door by 9:55 because I had to be inside the workplace at 10:30. And like I said, traffic was... Then I would work till around 2:30, take my break, try to catch up on some sleep if I could, back to work around 5:30 usually. Then we'd work till whatever the fuck time we finished, because it was all random depending on how busy we were that night. So let's just say 10 p.m. I drive home, usually like when I get there, reply to text on my phone for like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes depending on how much shit's there, and like check all my socials, all that type of shit. I wouldn't try to waste much time on that because fucking every minute counted in my days. So I'd be home around like 10:40, then I'd have a quick snack and some caffeine, then go to the gym. And that could be anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what I had to do that day. Because sometimes I'll do my 10k or my 5k sprint intervals after my hour of strength training or boxing practice, since at the time I was doing boxing on my days off. So let's say an hour and a half. Plus the drive to the gym and back, that puts me at 12:30. Once I'm home, I need to eat my last meal. And before you say,
you could have cut down on meals and ate less, that is.
Motherfucker, I'm already eating around 5,000 calories a day at a fairly low body fat percentage from all the physical work at my job, weightlifting, running, sprints, and boxing training. So cook Cook the meal, eat the meal, shower, get everything ready for tomorrow. That's around 2 a.m. Repeat for the next 5 to 6 days average, sometimes more, and that was my schedule. So I kept applying for jobs on my days off for around 8 months, but after those 8 months, I gave up and barely had time to spare on my days off from how exhausted my body was and all the other life shit I had to catch up on and do. All the chores, my girlfriend, restocking on everything I need when I'm talking food and shit. All this, and I barely took sick days or holiday pay because I actually started to care for the others at work and how I would be perceived. Not once did I get a pay raise because the work expectations were insane. You genuinely had to love this shit and be obsessed like these chefs were. I did this for 2 whole years. Eventually, I finally found another job and quit. And from there is another story. I want to state here that this video isn't meant to get pity for my situation, because a lot of my generation and younger truly don't realize that this is our reality, and this is how a lot of mostly men live out their day-to-day lives working full-time, and how a lot of the younger audience will have to too. It's just reality, but it's also not something to be overlooked and accepted so easily like a lot of the older generation have been. It's something our generation is becoming very aware of and tries to balance out and make change for. This wasn't a dig at chefs. Still to this day, I don't understand how someone can work in an industry like this, but if you were thinking of becoming a chef, you should ask yourself these things first. Do you love cooking? Are you able to handle fast-paced, stressful environments? And are you willing to dedicate most of your life to this job and sacrifice other aspects that you know will probably benefit you? And keep in mind, my story, my restaurant, was in one of the more forgiving places to have worked, at least from what I was told from the chefs working there. So if you're going down a career path, choose carefully. Don't be pressured by others. Don't act so quickly. Do your research first. Find out from first-hand experiences. Find out the pay, but don't drag it out long and undecided for too long, obviously. Act fast while you're still young and have the time, and if you're lucky enough to have the support from others. Despite all this, if I can handle a stressful career like this, working a shitty, pointless job for 2 years, then who's to say that built-up stress tolerance won't carry over into many other areas of my life.
If you enjoyed, go fuck yourself.